Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Vibes, Community, and Conversation, where we are
building connections one vibe at a time.
one vibe at a time, baby. So I'm your host, Mike, aka the Cool Guy, and I'm here with my co-host,
The Jazzy One.
The Jazzy One is what they call us. Today, in this episode, we had the opportunity to have a conversation with a young man who is just awesome. He is my nephew, but he is
I'm
awesome.
a little bit biased.
I'm a little biased, but he is an awesome young man.
I would agree.
His name is Christopher Roberts, better known as
Brain, the genius.
Brain the Genius, Brainstorm, and also he's a phenom. He is a Renaissance man. And so we want you to just sit back, check out this episode. It's going to be awesome. So today on this episode, we have the phenom, the Renaissance man, Brain Roberts. So, Mr. Roberts.
Yes.
So, you my nephew, so I pretty much know a lot about you, but there's some things I don't know about.
Okay.
So we're going to just have that candid conversation today.
Okay.
I want everybody to kind of know some things that they may not know about you. What was your upbringing like?
I mean, I grew up in a loving household, loving family, mom and dad, in church.
Right.
Pretty much a good foundation for everything. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. So
All right.
pretty much it.
Okay. So, and like you said, you are my nephew.
For sure.
Not the
That's blood.
in
That's
blood.
Yeah, that's blood.
Right. And so I do know about a lot of things.
Right.
Your mom is my sister. So
Correct.
okay.
Correct.
So I know it was a time coming up, I used to call you the Michelin Man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you was a little
Had the
baby, you had the little
rolls.
rolls on your arms, right? I'm going in personal on some things, but then also I understand going through the different times, and when you got into high school, things changed a little bit for you. You started to come into yourself a little bit, and wanted to do some things a little differently.
Correct.
Which that's what I believe a lot of young people go through. They go through those stages or whatever. So
For sure.
kind of talk to me about some of the things that maybe shocked your parents or made them think about it a little bit more.
So I think it was a lot of things pretty much, because I think, growing up where I grew up, it's not like I grew up in the roughest, toughest neighborhood, but I was still in the neighborhood, you know what I mean? So there were a lot of influences in the neighborhood that influenced me to do some things that I thought might have been cool at the time, or, things that I thought were acceptable at the time because this is what I was around. But I think it versed me also because I was able to see both ends of the spectrum. I was able to see super hood all the way to super corporate, you know what I mean? To lawyers, doctors, pharmacists, to dope boys, you know what I mean? People who out here actually really in the streets. So I was able to be versed in all of that. But when I got in high school, it was kind of like a fork in the road almost, because I knew what I enjoyed doing. Like, I was always a creative person, always drawing, always doing art, but that per se wasn't cool. You know what I mean? At the time, for sure.
Right.
None of that was cool. Like, doing music, any of that wasn't cool then. What was cool was the clothes you were wearing, what you had on, if the girls you could talk to and you could get, you know what I mean? That type of thing. So drawing and all of that wasn't cool. So that was kind of put to the wayside, and like, I was just doing random things, you know what I mean? Just,
Right.
but still keeping me in all of that. I wasn't losing sense of who I was.
Right.
It just was, well, let me go out and kind of test and see if this might be a route that may work for me.
Right.
That's all. That's all. Which a lot of kids do nowadays. And it's the same thing nowadays as it was then. It's just certain things change in how they do it, but they just want to be cool. They want to have money and be cool.
Right.
That's all that really affects them in what they do.
Right.
So,
Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I know, your mom and your dad, they always wanted the best for you, and they still want the best for you to this day.
For sure.
and your mom working in corporate, your dad working for the city for the amount of years he worked,
Right,
like a
right.
lot of
They
years,
both did. Yeah,
like older than a lot of people are right now. They
correct,
worked that many years, right?
correct, correct. I think
Um,
my dad 46 or 48 years, 40, something like
mhm,
that. My
mhm.
mom, same thing
Yeah,
though.
yeah, that's
Yep,
right.
yep, yep,
So, that was it was instilled, things were instilled in you, that blossomed later on in life for you.
for sure.
And so, I told you a while back, I said, I'm proud of you because you're a husband,
Right,
you got kids,
right.
you that grown man.
Yeah,
You that
yeah,
grown man, you got grown
yeah.
man business, grown man
All
responsibility
day, every day.
all day,
All
every day.
day, every day.
And you know what I'm saying? I big ups to you for that, man, because that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you set an example for all of the other young men who are coming up.
yeah,
Be a father to your kids, be a good husband,
for
be
sure,
all of that.
for
You know what I
sure.
mean?
And it's not easy.
No.
None of it's easy. It is not easy at all. I mean, it takes a lot, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
To be honest, like it's funny because I've been having these conversations with a lot of people that some younger than me, but some people come to the shop just, asking questions. Not as like I wouldn't say I'm like a mentor or anything like that, but just giving them kind of guidance on certain situations. But what I've been finding myself telling everybody lately is, bro, just talk to God, bro. That's it. Like
That's it.
I mean, I can tell you what I know, but if you had that conversation with God and give him everything, I promise you he gonna make sure everything good. No matter what it is. It may be the roughest thing, it could be, something mediocre, but just have that talk with him. That's all you can really do. Cause I could just give you, what I know from what I know. But yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yep.
While you were exploring your different, opportunities, like,
Right.
how were your parents helping you understand maybe what you shouldn't be doing, what you should be doing? Like, do you feel like you were rebelling from how you were
Um
raised, or
I think it's how most kids think nowadays, and like my kids also, it's like your parents haven't been through anything pretty much. Like what you trying to do, you can't tell me anything about this because that ain't true. And I'm seeing that now because I know it's things that I've seen and been through that my kids haven't seen,
Mhm.
but it's almost like they don't think I can relate to that because I'm their parent. Like I'm their dad. So that's all they see me as. They don't see me as somebody who potentially did a lot of these things that they see. You know what I mean? So it was the same way with me with my parents. Like now my mom is a little different because my mom ain't I don't want to say she always been straight and narrow, but I haven't heard too many stories that yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. Like she's never like done a lot of the things that I saw or done. Yeah, so it's certain things that she couldn't give me guidance on, and I know that for sure. The
Okay.
same thing with my dad. Like, later on in life, hearing the stories and talking to my dad, it's some things that he's seen and been through, but it's some things that I've seen and I've been through that he hasn't seen. So it was just that, like, they gave me as much guidance as I think they could at the time, which I appreciate, you know what I mean? But it's some things that I'm not gonna say I had to learn on my own because I had a choice to do it or not, but I learned on my own, especially at those younger days.
Right.
High school and right after high school, yeah, I think those were like the learning days. And that's the hardest thing though as a parent because I got kids now and I don't want to see them doing the same thing, but I can only tell them so much and they're gonna have to find out on their own. But that's the worst thing to see is like your child fumbling and doing all the same things. It's like, I'm here, I can help you, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
That's
it is
just
what
part
it
of
is.
parenting. Ain't no
You're right.
blueprint.
It is.
Ain't no blueprint.
Yeah,
So,
your mama green. Yeah,
yeah,
she
yeah,
green.
yeah, yeah,
She was
yeah.
sheltered. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what
You
I'm
know she
saying?
gonna watch
Yeah,
this. She
I
gonna
know she
watch
gonna watch it.
this.
Hey, I love you, sis. You know I love you, but you green. Uh,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
and I remember being told the stories of how they were basically sheltered.
yeah.
And so she used to always talk about me and your Uncle Joe. Talking
Right.
about when they came along, they was able to hang out and this,
Yeah,
that, and the other
yeah,
stuff that they
yeah,
weren't able to do.
yeah.
I said, hey, times change.
Mhm.
They
You know what
do.
I'm saying?
They
And
do.
so but it's
Yeah,
all good.
yeah.
Great, great family environment, great
For sure.
background. So
For sure.
they the ones that laid that foundation for us, right?
Yep.
And we look at the bits and pieces as we move each and every day, and we understand that came from my mama, my daddy,
Correct.
like this, that
Correct.
person, and
Correct. Correct.
everything. So, Yeah, love to the
Yep.
family.
Yep, yep.
So, what, what triggered you to wanna be an entrepreneur? When did you when did you realize that you wanted to test the waters?
So, to be honest, I tell this story, like, a lot
Okay.
because it's a true story.
Mhm,
I think I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit,
mm,
even as a child, because the first thing I can remember was
mhm,
being in 1st grade, and I think we had a snack for, like, recess before lunch period. So, they gave us, like, some peanuts or something like that. So,
mhm.
everybody's eating the peanuts, they get rid of the
Right, right.
shells. So, I was picking up the shells, and we had art class. So, in art class, I got, like, some markers and just putting some little different designs. Now, I'm in 1st grade, and I don't know how old I was at the time, maybe like 5 or 6 or something like that.
Right.
So I'm putting little designs on them, and then we go out to recess again later on, and I got these shells with these colorful paintings on them or whatever, or colorful pictures. So a couple of my friends and a couple other kids out there, they were like, "Hey, can we get one?" I was like, "Yeah." Then I thought about it, and I saw one had some change in their
Right,
hand.
right,
So I was
right.
like, "Hey, if you give me that nickel," he was like, "All right, here you go." So I was like, "Okay." So then I went around to everybody like, "Hey, if you got a nickel, I'll give you one of these." So I'm collecting money. So at that point, then on,
Right.
I knew that I could get paid for my craft
There
for
you
whatever
go.
I
There you
did
go.
because obviously if I could do it, you couldn't do it. You know
Right,
what I
right,
mean? And you would pay for it.
right.
So from then on, it was just art. And then Uncle Joe, watching him draw the graffiti Adidas letters,
Right,
I started copying what he was
mhm,
doing it in school,
right,
and now I'm doing people's names in school for money. So
right, right.
it always kinda, like, led up to
Mhm.
where I'm at now
Okay.
with what I'm doing. So that's kinda like the background and
Right.
how I got into being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
But I did go the route of, getting first job, Ponderosa, regular
Right.
jobs, but
Mm,
I always knew and always did something on the side
right.
to kinda do money with what I loved, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Whether it be music, whether it be DJing, whether it be drawing, whether it be airbrushing or art,
Right,
I always had that other stream of income on
right,
top of the job,
right,
on
right,
top of the
definitely.
job.
And that was gonna be one of my questions, like, who were some of your role models? And you mentioned your Uncle Joe and stuff
Uncle
like that.
Joe,
Anybody
yep.
else you could think of that
Uh, I mean, you Uncle Mike, 'cause you was always with the music, you know what I mean? Like, that was a big
Yeah.
influence, to be honest, music-wise, it was probably my parents and you, Uncle Mike, because you would have all the music playing in the blue, I can't remember if it
The Toyota
the
Corolla,
Toyota
SR
Corolla.
SR5.
Yes, and when you came from
Yeah.
Cali with the
Right.
music,
Right,
that put
right.
me on to, like, some of the Cali music and stuff,
Right, right,
so
right.
and then Adrian had, I think it was Ashawn came down with all the New
Yeah,
York
yeah,
music,
yeah.
so I was able to hear the down south, the Cali music, and the up north music, so I was able to blend all of that
Mhm.
into what I really like, you know what I mean? So that kinda started my journey into different types of music and not just gospel
Right.
because that's what my mom and dad were into, so
Right, right.
it was just I think it was a mixture of all that kinda that makes me the person I am today.
Today. Okay.
So,
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you mentioned some of the things you've done. You've done, let's see, airbrushing,
yeah, I done did a lot.
painting, tattooing, you do that
Tattooing,
now,
tattooing,
DJing, creating beats,
beats, music production,
um, just all of the different arts and all of the different things that you've done, man.
yeah,
That's why I call you the Renaissance man,
yeah,
because you
yeah,
have all these different gifts and talents.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And you display them well, to the point that your daughter
yeah,
is an artist,
yeah,
and she had her showing not that long ago
yep,
of
like
some
about a
art,
month ago.
about a
Yep,
month
about a
ago,
month
and you know what
ago.
I'm saying? And I know she was proud of that, and I asked her at the table, a couple weeks ago when we were at the event, who was your influence? And she said, "My dad."
Right, right,
Man,
right.
that's powerful, man.
It is,
How
it
it make you
is.
feel? How it make you feel for your daughter to say that?
It feels good. It
Mhm,
feels good because I see myself in all of them, to be honest. Like
mhm.
everything that they do, I just always push them to be the greatest person they are. Like
Right,
they don't have to do art. It doesn't have to be that, but whatever it is that you love and whatever you're passionate about,
mhm,
that's what I push them towards. It may not be something that I totally understand,
right,
but if that's what you're passionate about, I'm all for it because I know how it feels to be passionate about something and not to really be pushed into that direction. You
right.
kind of got to take the reins and push yourself in that direction. But if you have somebody in a group of people that are behind you to push you in that direction, it
Mhm,
makes it so much easier and freeing to know that you have people behind you that are
mhm.
actually helping you pursue what you're trying to do.
Right.
So that with my kids, I'm the same way. So even if like I know right now she's in high school and she's going through kind of like that phase of I like to do art, but not that much. And then, I like the recognition for it, but I don't like to do it all the time.
Mhm.
Y- you trying to learn yourself at those ages, you know
Right,
what I mean? And
right.
I get it. I get
Mhm.
it because at that time I wasn't really doing too much art, drawing and doing things like that. But I came back to it. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So yeah, it's dope. It's
It's
dope.
dope. Yeah, yeah,
I like that. I
yeah.
like that with
Okay.
my kids.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
And they all could draw. I'm just throw that out there.
All of them got
Oh,
skills.
all of them could draw.
Wow. Okay,
All of them,
okay.
like, very well.
Yeah, okay.
Way
All right.
better than me.
Got some prodigies
Way
at the
yeah,
house,
yeah,
man. Got
yeah,
some prodigy. Got one
yeah,
who love to sing.
yeah.
Might be
Oh, yeah,
might be a
yeah.
little R&B artist, might be on Broadway, you never
Yeah,
know
yeah,
because
yeah.
she's not ashamed, man, to do her thing, you know what I'm saying, in front of people.
Imma tell you though, my one child that I think does everything well,
Mhm,
she's not she's shy about it,
mhm.
but she does it all well. Like,
Right.
she's great.
Okay, okay.
But it's just bringing her out the shell.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm not gonna say which one it is,
No, no,
but
no,
yeah,
no, no,
you
no.
just gotta get out of shell,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she's dope. She's
That's
dope too.
good, that's good.
Yeah,
It make you feel good as a parent, man, you know what I'm
for
saying?
sure,
They picking up some good habits.
for sure. I'm trying to
You
teach
know
them
what I
good
mean? Some
habits.
good habits because there's so many bad habits out there
It
in the
is.
streets and around other individuals,
Right, right.
that, and kids easily pick up on that type of stuff, but with
Correct,
that great foundation, once again, we gonna go back, that foundation that you had
correct,
and that
correct,
and foundation that you're building for yours,
correct,
and
correct,
that
correct.
just that's that generational thing right
Yep,
there, right? So,
yep, yep. That's
that's
what I'm trying to do.
that's a
That's what I'm
plus,
trying
that's
to
a
do.
plus.
Yep. And I think a lot of that still it comes back to family, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because I know I got some homies and friends that they didn't grow up in that same lifestyle,
Mhm.
that same setting with family, so
Right.
their view on things is a little different, you know what
Right,
I mean?
right,
It's not much of a foundation there, and it's
right,
a little bit scattered. Not saying it can't work,
right.
but it's different. It's just a different story.
But it's good to have a person like you who they can sit down and talk with, though.
Right.
Even
Right,
though
right,
they may
right.
not have come up in that with that type of foundation,
Correct.
at least they have a support system.
Right,
Some
right.
people don't have that.
Yeah, for
Some
sure.
people got those people who always telling them something negative, some
Nah.
foolishness, and that's all they know, right?
Right.
But when you have a person like you and others who can sit there and talk to them and say, "Hey, man, you don't need to go that route. Check
Right,
this
right,
out."
right. Correct, correct. And everybody that comes around me, like all my friends, anybody at the shop, all my customers, clients, they know like if they gonna talk to me, they
Right,
gonna get some positive words, and I'm gonna
right,
talk them into whatever they trying to do. Like
right, right.
I'm gonna talk them up. Like if you tell me you gonna go outside and fly, I'm gonna
Yeah,
be right there. Like
right.
all right, let's see it. Like I want to see it. Yeah, let's do it.
That's it.
Like
That's
that's
it.
just me. That's just me.
Definitely.
Me.
Definitely. So I'm gonna go to a important time that I know it was impactful in a way of making you feel some type of way. You had a friend who committed suicide in your apartment.
Try to.
Tried to.
Try
Right,
to. Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so tell me how did that affect you?
So it's funny you say that because right before I came here, we were talking about like black men and going to therapy and things like that. Now, just joking with him like I probably need to go to therapy for, because I've seen more than just that, you know what I
Right,
mean, through
right.
life. But I think it's certain things that kind of you kind of just write off sometimes, like, hey, it happened and
Mhm.
just move on and
Right,
not really think about it or try to think about it. But
right,
it happened, you know what I
right,
mean?
right, right,
But in terms like I really don't try to kind of like revisit when it happened and how it happened because it was a lot that
right,
happened. You know
right,
what I mean? So I don't know. I still don't really know how I feel per se about it
right,
because I try not to think about it too
right,
much.
right.
I don't know. I don't know.
Did it slow you down in anything that you might have been doing at the time? Did it make you sit back and pause and just
It
try to come to grips with it? Or did you just kind of try to put it in the back of your mind and keep moving?
it at the time I think I was just trying to handle it and trying to be the best friend that I could be at that time. So I really wasn't even thinking about myself at the time.
Okay.
And then once the situation was over a little bit down the line, I don't know. I don't really know.
Right.
I don't know how I internalized it, if that
Right,
makes sense.
right, right,
I
right.
don't really know. I still don't
Okay.
know to this
Right,
day. Like
right. And
it's
that's
just
understandable.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. it's
That
still a weird situation.
right, right.
Like, even sitting here thinking about it now,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
most
yeah.
people, because that situation was a culmination of situations that day,
Right.
and the whole day is almost like a movie.
Mm.
Like,
Wow.
I know for a fact people haven't seen anything in life in person like what I saw that day.
Right.
That day was pretty
Right, right.
extreme,
Wow. Wow.
super extreme. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like a movie.
Right,
Like, if
right.
I were to tell somebody the whole story, they'd be like, "That
Yeah,
didn't happen. That
they
didn't
won't
happen."
believe it.
But it definitely happened, and there are a couple witnesses of what happened. But um, I mean, I think what helps me out in the situation is he didn't die. You know
Right,
what I mean? He's
right.
still alive,
Mhm.
and he's still functional to this
Right.
day. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So I think that kind of helps it out. Now, if it would have been the opposite and it would have been more traumatic, then I might be dealing with it a little different. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel you, I feel you. So, so that, if I'm not mistaken, that same apartment is where I got my first tattoo,
Yep, yep,
you know,
yep.
which is right here.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
that
yeah,
lion,
yeah, yeah,
Leo the lion.
yeah.
Um,
Yep, yep,
you know, and I was like, man, look at my nephew, boy, doing this thing. And
yep,
now you are the owner of Urban Ink.
yep. 5 years
tattoo
now.
tattoo company.
5 years. Yep,
How does
yep.
it feel to be that business owner?
Um, to be honest, it's cool because what I envisioned for it to be
Mhm.
is there. So I think that's the biggest thing with me, and what I love to do is like just thinking of an idea
Mm.
and then actually making it happen and actually seeing it. You know
Right,
what I mean? Like,
right.
it's there,
Mhm.
like it's tangible. It's all there. So I think that's the dopest part about the experience of being a business owner. Um, but I think a lot of people get business owner kind of mixed up with like freedom,
Mm.
and it's less freedom
That is.
than I think
You're
a
right.
9 to 5. Way less
It
freedom
is.
because you're tied to it at all times.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
that business, no matter if it doesn't have your name or whatever the case, you're tied to that business.
Right.
If that business fails, that's money that was supposed to be in your pocket, you know what I
Mhm,
mean? Or
mhm.
the business's pocket or whatever you're trying to build. So you're always tied to it
Yeah, that's
24/7.
right, that's
If
right.
something happens there, you have to go fix it.
That's right.
No matter if you have managers or supervisors, whatever the case, it all still leads back to you, the
There's
business
your
owner.
name on it.
It's your name. So I think it's cool. I think what gets me through that part is seeing other people, strive and survive and be able to provide for their family or make their dreams come true. Or
Right.
like what I'm doing now with the event space, just trying to bring in creatives like that look like us,
Okay. Okay.
not that look like, what they already have,
Right.
but for us, the culture, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think that it's not represented as much as it is in other places.
Right.
So that's my main goal right now.
Okay.
But in terms of like when I first opened the tattoo shop,
Mhm,
that was my goal, was to get more of us
mm.
into tattooing and to show that on a larger scale, in a bigger scale. Cause a lot of times tattoo artists are working from their home, they going mobile, they doing this, that, and the third.
Mhm.
But you have these other establishments that have been around for a while
Right.
and they're able to survive and pay their bills and everything. So I
Right.
feel as though we should be able to do the same thing.
Same thing.
So that was my whole goal with doing that space, because before that, I had a smaller space.
Mhm,
It was me and another artist there, but
mhm.
that was all that could be there. And I was fine. I
Right.
could make the money that I needed to survive, pay my bills, take care of my family, but
Right.
I wanted to be able to do that for other people. You know
Right.
what I mean? So that's the part that feels good.
That feels good.
Paying the
Okay.
bills don't though.
Nah,
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 paying the
nah. When you
bills
got to pay
don't.
the bill, nah,
Nah, that
nah.
definitely don't.
So you started off with, what was the tattoo concrete
Concrete tats.
concrete tats, and
Yep,
moved
concrete
on.
tats.
Okay,
Yep,
all
yep,
right.
yep. Concrete tats with my homies.
That's it. That's it.
Yep.
So since you already brought it out, your new space is called Collab Lab.
It's called no. So Collab Lab was the event that we just did
Okay,
on
gotcha.
Sunday. That was a creative mixer. So I got creators from around the city just to
Mhm,
kind of come together and network. So it was like photographers, models, it was electricians there. It was
mm,
music artists, it was graphic designers. So
okay,
just getting everybody in one space at one time so they could kind of network if one person needs the other, or possibly in the future, or just making those connections between creatives. And again, for us.
that
Everybody is invited,
right.
but for us, you know what I
Us,
mean?
that's right. That's right.
But the new space is called Culture Creative.
Culture
So
creative.
yeah,
Okay.
so what I did was the tattoo area used to be in the front. I moved it more to the back and made it more of like a VIP experience. And then the front is a more of an event creative space.
Okay.
So we'll be doing I got another event coming up called Color Outside the Lines. And it's more so like drawing mixer type thing. So
Okay.
there'll be drinks, a DJ, music,
Mhm.
food type of stuff, and different type of drawing games and drawing prompts for people to do. So
Okay.
that's what's next.
And so from all of the things I'm hearing, legacy is important to you.
For sure. For sure.
It
For
is. It
sure.
is definitely.
For sure. And that's what I'm trying to create is kind of like what wasn't there for me when I was younger. Just like a cool, dope spot where you can go and be yourself,
Right.
play the music, listen to the music that you want to listen to, and create how you want to create.
Right.
Because what happens to us as creatives and artists, we'll go to other venues
Right.
that don't cater to us,
Mhm.
and they end up trying to dictate and determine how you create, if
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Mhm.
So if I'm making, let's just say I'm into rap music, like I like Dolph or I like Lil Baby or I like whoever the new artist is, catering to the younger crowd.
Mhm.
Um, when you go to their venues, they're like, "Well, no, we're gonna play this lo-fi jazz type music because
Right.
that's the feel we're going for, and
Right.
no, you can't bring these type of pieces in because this isn't what our collective look at." And
Mhm.
that's not cool to me because I feel as though art should be subjective to whoever's doing it. So
Right.
if I'm an artist and this is how my paintings and how I relate to my paintings and how I want people to view my paintings,
Right.
I should be able to curate this experience and
Mhm.
play the type of music I want to play.
There you go.
I should be able to invite the type of people I want to invite, and all my people should be able to come and experience this art how it's supposed to be experienced, not how you're trying to make me experience it.
Right.
So that's what the space is really for, is to get creatives in with like that raw and uncut talent, no matter what it is.
Okay.
And also I just talked to another lady today who does films. She's gonna do a film premiere at the space in I think a couple weeks.
Oh man, that's
So we got a
awesome.
lot of stuff lined up,
Going
art
on.
shows. I'm
Okay.
just trying to make sure that it's us there
Mhm.
and make sure it looks like us
Right.
and
Right.
feels like us
Right.
and inviting and it's relatable to
Right.
us. You know what I
So
mean?
if you don't mind, if security won't keep us out, we like to come and cover some of that.
Oh yeah, for
So we can,
sure.
put that on the podcast and let people
Yeah.
see what's going on.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So we gonna do that. So
Yep. Yep.
any final words, Miss Jazz? You got anything you want to say? We got a couple more minutes.
Yeah, just any advice that you would give to someone who's thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, any advice you would give them on what they need to do to try to be successful?
So I would say if you want to be an entrepreneur, first look up the definition of what an entrepreneur is. Because a lot of people think an entrepreneur is like just making a hobby into something and selling things. When that's kind of it can be that starting out, but an entrepreneur is somebody who puts up a financial risk for whatever they're doing. So you have to be fully invested into being an entrepreneur. Like you have to fully say, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna go forward with this whole plan. Like it can't be something that you just have to take the risk. That's really what being an entrepreneur is. So if you're willing to take the risk and willing to put your passion and your all behind it, then yeah, by all means, do it. Become an entrepreneur. Find out whatever it is you need to do to make it happen, whether it be being a chef, opening a restaurant, doing whatever it is entrepreneur wise. Just if you have the passion for it, but make sure that you have the passion for it first. Because there are times when you may not want to do it anymore. But that passion is what's going to make you keep going to work and keep
Mhm.
pushing forward. Because if it's something that you just see somebody else doing and you're like, oh, that makes money, I'm going to try to do that. You're probably not going to last too
That's right.
long because you're not passionate about it.
Yes, you
And I
gotta be
see that
consistent.
so many times, even in terms of like the tattoo artists that come to the shop that want to learn. I'm open. So you could come learn, but they fall off. They don't want to do it because they might not make the money the
Right.
first month, the first year. It takes a lot of time to build up your clientele, no matter what you're doing. And what I read was a lot of businesses fail within the first and the second year. And if you make it past 5 years, you're pretty much sustainable. But most businesses fail in that 1 to 2 years.
I love what you're doing up at the shop. You know what I'm
Appreciate it.
saying?
Appreciate it.
I remember where you started at the shop because we were there for the grand opening, the
Yep.
ribbon cutting. The
Yep.
mayor
Mm.
Yep.
was
Yep.
there,
Yep.
everything. Um, and you've come a long way with it. So, congratulations to you, man. You
Thank you.
know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
I'm telling you, I really, really love the things that you're doing, man.
Thank you,
As a
thank you,
grown
thank
man,
you. Yeah,
as that
yeah.
grown,
Hey, hey,
you're a grown
appreciate
man.
it.
You know what I'm saying? That's what
Appreciate
I'm
it.
talking about.
You
So
not to cut you off, but you know that's one of the cool parts about it too, is like some of the people that have been with me from the beginning, like they saw me at the house when I was doing their
right,
tattoos and
right,
then going to the other space to where it's at now.
right.
And they always say the same thing. They like, bro, like I really like the whole journey is dope. The
Right.
experience to see it go from there to there is dope.
Mm.
And I think on the outside looking in, I sometimes look at that like, damn, that is pretty cool. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I seen a post on your page said something about entrepreneurs. It's like jumping off a cliff and putting the plane together on your way
On
down.
your way down, that's
You know,
exactly what it is.
and that's what it is.
Yeah, it is. And I think more people should do that because I know it's a lot of creative people, a lot of people with great ideas.
Mhm.
They just scared to jump.
That's it.
But you just have to jump and you can't really just try to figure everything out before you do it.
Right.
Just do it and kind of figure it out on the way down or up. You
That's
know
it.
what I mean?
That's
That's
it.
the best way to do it.
Right.
Otherwise you'll sit stagnant and just have an idea and it'll never
Right.
go anywhere.
And we can't base everything off of people.
No, you can't base
Cause
no.
you got what, so you got this thing the Native Americans have, which is a dream catcher.
Right.
But then we got a lot of dream killers
You have a lot of those,
and
especially in the city.
in the city,
Yeah.
and so that's the thing about being an entrepreneur. You can't sit there and worry about what other people got to say about you.
No, that's
You focused on it, and like you said, if you focused on God and you ask God for something,
right.
I don't care who hit like or love or whatever on the
Don't matter.
page, it don't matter
Don't matter.
because you're doing what it is that you wanted to do.
Right.
God bless you to do it,
Right.
and everything else gonna come along.
You know, that's another thing, Uncle Mike. Like, we go, hey, no, because social media is a great tool for sure.
Right.
But I feel like that kills a lot of people's dreams also because they'll go on there and they may post something that they may think is going to get a lot of views, a lot of likes, and they don't. Or
Right.
they may post something that they're going to do or whatever the case may be,
Mhm.
and it doesn't get the traction that they think or they want.
Right.
But you can't base it off of that because some people don't even click anything. You have some people that wait to see what other people are going to do.
Right.
And I found that out with a lot of events and different things is that you may post it, you may not get a like, you may get one like,
Mhm.
but people see it. As long as
That's
people
right.
see it,
Mhm.
then that's all that
That's
matters.
all
And
that
then you go from there.
Right.
If you do an event or whatever you doing, say you baking cakes and you get one cake sold, okay, now I could go back and reformat and figure out, okay, well, what can I do better this time? But don't be so down on your luck, like, oh, I shouldn't do this. I only sold one cake. No,
Right.
you just have to reevaluate how you marketed it, how you connected with the people,
That's it.
and then go at it again if it's something that you again
Mhm.
really passionate about. When you're passionate about it, you're gonna keep doing it until you figure it out. And that's the thing is people just have to be passionate about it
Right.
and don't listen to what everybody else has to say if you know that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Just do it. If
Right.
it's one cake or whatever it is,
That's it.
turn it into two cakes the next
There
week.
you go.
If it falls back to one cake the next week, then figure out what you might have did wrong. That's it.
Mhm.
But don't take it personal either. Like
Right.
you can't take anything in business or entrepreneurship personal because it's not personal.
Mm.
Some things are just business and analytics and how you do things. That's
Right.
just what it is.
Right.
So when you erase all of that out of your head and erase all of that, I need, what's the word I'm looking for? Validation
Right.
from anybody else. You'll be successful, super successful.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was Einstein that said, I fell my way to the top.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have those failures.
Yep.
Those failures is what those are your stepping stones
For sure.
to
For sure.
get to where you're trying to get to.
You
So,
definitely have to.
yeah,
You definitely have. You're gonna fail at something.
yeah, something. You know what I'm saying?
But
But you just learn from it.
Fail on the way up.
Don't quit.
Correct.
Don't
Correct.
quit.
Correct.
Don't quit.
Yeah, that's the fun part about it. To me,
Yeah,
Uncle
yeah,
Mike.
yeah.
Yeah,
Challenge.
It's the challenge. It's the
That's
fun.
it.
It's
That's
it's creating it, seeing it from the beginning to the end. That's the fun part.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. Well, man, this was a great conversation. Miss Jazz, you got anything else you wanted to add to it? You good?
How can I get in to get my next tattoo with you? Because you go on your website, you book
Yeah, I'm booked out.
forever.
So what I've been focusing more on is like the artists that I have at the shop and them becoming bigger than life. You know what I mean? So that's really my focus at this
Mhm.
point in time is making sure that all of them are like extra straight, not just good with, a few customers or a little bit of clientele. I want to
Mhm.
make sure that everybody is good, good. Like
Right.
the whole team is good, good. So that's my focus between that and trying to make sure that the culture creative space is filled with different events and bringing the city and the creatives in. That's
Mhm.
like my whole goal pretty much this year. You know what I mean? So, and it's a sacrifice because I'm missing all that tattoo clientele and all that tattoo money, but it's gonna be worth it in the end. I know it for sure because I see the vision. I know what's gonna happen, and I know it has to happen. So
Mhm.
that's all I can do is move forward with that.
Yes,
Yep,
sir. Yes,
yep.
sir. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on, man. We're gonna have you back on again. You'll be able to talk about some other things that have taken place.
I
You know,
appreciate it. Yeah, I'll be back.
when you hit your first couple million, then you
Hey,
come
I'll
back
be
and let
back.
us know
Hey,
what time it is. You
hey,
know what I'm saying?
hey, you seen me paid in full before?
Yeah, I see.
It's 10 days.
10
Nigga,
days.
10
Give you
days.
10
10
days.
days.
Okay, okay.
10 days.
All right, Brain. We appreciate you, man. So we'll be talking to you soon. All
All
right.
right,
Yes,
cool.
sir.